Hey everybody, it's Brian. Welcome back to the shop. We're continuing on the wheelhouse panels, and I've got the second one made now. And I've got it clecoed together just to hold it in place. And we got to get this piece bent over and the edges bent so it lays nice, so when we get the spot welding, everything will be lined up right. So I'm going to get the brake set up and we'll start making our first bend there. Okay, we're going to put our first bend in, and we're going to put the brake right on our two little punch marks there where we punched it before. And like I say, the more accurate you make it, the easier it is to do your bend sequence. So that's going to be our first bend. Okay, there's our first bend, and that we did in the brake. The little guys, they get all trapped up in the brake there, so I'm going to show you how to do it a different way on the stake plates. And we'll go over there now. I'll show you how to bend the two tabs over, and then we'll start putting this together. Okay, I've got a hatchet stake set up in the plate here, and we can get a nice sharp bend like that. And I've got this square to show how far to bend it. So it's just that little tab we're going to bend over. Okay, I'll get the other side bent, and then we'll go over and put it on the wheelhouse panel. Okay, here's the panel with the edges bent over. I threw a couple more clecos in to hold it, and it's fitting nice and tight. I'll give you a shot of the inside. All our edges are meeting real nice there. That's ready for spot welding. So I've got both of them made, and we're going to do one of them now, and I'll show you what it looks like before I spot weld it. Okay, on all the areas that are going to touch each other, I like to clean it down with a little acetone. And we'll shoot a very light coat of the high temperature cold gal compound. Okay, once that's dry, we'll have protection even after we spot weld it. Okay, before I put any panels together, where the panels are going to touch, I put some weldable primer on there. And there's a lot of opinions on weldable primer, and I've had good luck and bad luck with various brands. But I've gotten away from that recently because you know, the cans are clogging up and it's super expensive stuff, so it's kind of a pain. But what's on here right now, it's on this edge everywhere where the panels are going to meet, and it's on this part everywhere the panels are going to meet. That's high temperature cold galvanizing compound, and that's what I've been using, and it doesn't seem to go bad, and it welds up real nice when you're spot welding at least. And in between every panel you need something, otherwise it's just going to go, you know, it's going to get rusty in there. So this is a good way to do it. I've got a little bit down here I'm going to touch up, and I've got some samples made here. Here's just a couple samples with that on there, and I'm going to put these together, spot weld them, and show you what we're looking for in a spot weld. And we'll go over to the spot welder next and do that. Okay, here's my spot welder set up. This is a water-cooled unit, and the fan's kind of loud and stuff, so I'm not going to turn that on just yet. This has a pneumatic clamp, and so it takes air, 220 volt, and it's water cooled. And the water cooled ones are much better than the other ones. The tips last forever, and it just goes much better. So I'm going to make a little sample out of this piece, and then we're going to destroy it, and I'll show you what we're looking for in a spot weld. So I'm going to turn the fan on and we'll do it. Okay, there's two spot welds, and we're going to go over and stick them in a vise and peel them apart and see what happens. Okay, I've got this set up in the vise on the milling machine just because it's real sturdy, and we're going to grab this with some pliers and we're going to peel it right apart. Okay, that's what you want with a spot weld. It pulls a nugget right through. So, and the second one you can see is starting. But that's a good spot weld. And that's how we're going to put together those panels and basically the whole Jeep with factory style spot welds. So, I'm going to get the piece jigged up and ready to go, and we'll start putting spot welds in it. Okay, here's the spot welding setup. I've just got it sitting on an engine hoist right now, and there's a tool balancer up top because it's a super heavy unit. We've got the fan over there, and I've got the piece clamped to a bench, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to lay a row of spot welds all across here, a couple down in here, over here and here. And from the factory, this area got welded, this area got welded, and that where they meet right there got welded. So we'll just add some weld here, here, and here later. But for now, we'll get the spot welds going. And it's probably going to be pretty loud with that fan on again, so I'll just put a couple in and let you see how it goes in. Okay, we got that tacked in with a few, and as I go I'll start taking the clecos out, and I'll finish the rest of this up and meet you over at the bench. Okay, here's our panel spot welded. I'm still going to come in later on, put a little bit of weld in the corners like I said, and the cleco holes here and all the way down, they're going to have to be TIG welded up, so I'll get that done. But there's some nice factory looking spot welds. This is the right side panel, and that's finished. And we have the left side finished. I'll get that one spot welded up, and that'll be the 2 wheelhouse panels. And if you've been following along, we have the tail light panels made. We have the rear cross sill. We've got to do the tailgate surround. That's out a little bit heavier material. And then we can move on to the rear floor and the hat channel, or the side panels. If you guys have any preference, just leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. So it's either going to be the floors or the side panels. So we'll catch you next time, and we'll see what we decide to build.